Still on WhatsApp, this one is from Ben. Good morning. Please, I want to seek advice. A man dating a lady for 6 years promised marriage, and the lady conceived, and he told her to terminate it from the same state and a closer village. He only dropped a bottle of wine and keeps on monitoring her, and also telling her that he knows what he's waiting for. Any mistake, he will beat the lady up. Please advise the lady.
Well, what advice is there? Is marriage by force, or is pregnancy, or it's being...
This person has obviously shown he doesn't have your best interest at heart. I mean, asking you to terminate a pregnancy, just keeping you there,
women should stop thinking they are victims, that you cannot do anything. You can do so much. No is no. Okay, I'm not interested. Abuse one time is all you need to convince you and not to confuse you that this relationship is not suitable.
Right. We have a call on Skype, 99.3. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Hello, can you hear me? Network hitch is right there, so he or she cannot hear. Please call me back if you can. I have this question to ask your guest, which he said, for better and for worse is not biblical, but where does it come from and why are they still using it? This is from Olga. Olga it's probably a new listener because you've addressed it before, but do you want to quickly speak to that?
Not really. It's not in line of... When we're talking about something, you don't bring something that is not in the topic for discussion for us to change the topic to what you want us to change to. So probably when you heard that, you should have asked that question.
Abby from Isolo, good morning, Uninichi and the barrister. There are instances where due process has been followed, years of courtship, knowing about each other and everyone, but only to discover that after you are married, he picks up friends and acquaintances whom you cannot really place and becomes even more important than you and his family. I agree, but that doesn't fall under the umbrella of marrying a stranger. However, your point is notable. Some people marry and they think they start off right along the line, things change. Let's get to the phone lines. 99.3, who's on the line?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
This is David from Indishoria again.
Welcome, David. You have 1 minute, please.
Okay. You see, the word stranger originated from God. And he actually commanded his firstborn, who are the Israelites, not to go and marry strangers. And the church is the Israelites of today. And what God is actually talking, he is the lawgiver. He is the one that institutes marriage and gives law to guide it. He wants you to be rich in his word. It is that word, that same word of God is the source of good morals. So, it is when you are in the church as a Christian, the two of you, before you can say you want to marry somebody, you should ensure that that person, he knows the word of God very well. That will actually guide your marriage. That is the key.
All right. Thank you very much, David from Ibeshiri. Thank you for your
well, let me come in there. There are non-Christians that have good marriages. Good marriages is not the property of Christianity. So when you use the word of God as the only thing that can make there are people that are atheists, there are Muslims, there are other faiths that have such. In fact, Christians have a higher rate of divorce than any other religion in the world. So I would not agree with you saying that it is only the word of God. No. It is character. It is character. The Bible tells you wisdom is the principal thing. And in all you're getting, get understanding. Wisdom, character, a good nature, good upbringing is something that is not religious. It is how would I call it? It is giving proper training to a child, raising them up. So please, I want to really say I'm a Christian. No. I'm a very serious Christian, but I will tell you that I know people that don't know this God that are better. So it's not a matter of
that call from Skype. 99.3, good morning. Thank you for calling.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. Fine, thank you. Please, what is your name and where are you calling from?
This is Oye calling from the United Kingdom.
You're welcome, Oye. You have 1 minute. Please go ahead.
I'll make a quick submission. I somewhat agree with what Olumide has said, but there's an exception to the rule, or there's certain exceptions to the rule. It happens in the majority of the cases where long distance relationships do not work, but there's always an exception to that rule. I met my wife by my auntie about 25 years ago. I was based in the UK. My wife was based in Nigeria. My auntie just called me and said that I found you a wife. That please just come and see her. She said, please just come. If you don't like her, that's fine. I traveled down to Nigeria, saw this girl, and it was instant. It was just love at first sight. We dated for 2 years, just February to the UK, and obviously the way we're dating, I'll go to Nigeria like maybe once or twice a year. I'll come back to the UK and all that. 25 years down the line, we're still happily married with 3 kids, and to the truth be said, we've never had a quarrel before. Never. We live like we're like brothers. Before I do one thing, she knows what I'm going to do. Before she does the next thing, I know what she's going to do.
Fantastic. Can I say something, sir? I'm really happy for you, but I would tell you categorically that you are a lucky man. You are lucky.
Yeah, exceptions.
Yes, you are lucky, and it is not. Would you recommend how you got married to another person that do it this way? This is what works.
If you want a honest answer,
I do.
I would say no.
You know, you see this thing that you have. Some of us are just lucky. Some of us are just lucky. The kind of craziness in Nigeria now, there's hardly a week that you will not meet a calamity. And when you start, okay, how long did you, we did not really date, I was based here, she was based there. So what do you know? How did you choose? Somebody told me that she was, it's a mess. And look at it, that was 25 years ago that you're talking about. It's not like...
I've never hit her, I've never hit her, she's never hit me. I'm not joking, it is just the... If I was to marry 10 more times, I'll marry nobody else.
That's great. I'm happy to hear that. Thank God for that.
Thank God for Mr. Oye. When you come to Nigeria, you need to buy me a drink. You understand?
Thank you so much for calling, Oye.
Call me. Yeah,
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, Oye. Thank you very much. Let me see. I saw some interesting messages on WhatsApp that I'd love to take. Ike from Igondo says, good morning, barrister. Women also travel in search of husbands, especially during festive periods. Ike says that he asked one of his lady friends why she normally travels during Christmas. And she said that is when people come back in the season of wife. Wait, though. He now said that I agree with you that it's good to date reasonably before marriage. And he goes ahead to say that he dated his wife for 8 years and they got married in the 9th year. Interesting. Well, I don't know about traveling, but I know that some women, young single women, go to weddings with the hopes of finding husbands. I've heard that, but I don't know. I mean, this is an interesting.
You know, the thing about I love the eastern part of the country because they all travel back home. It's something the West should learn. It's something a lot of our children or we Yorubas don't even know our language. But the Easterners, whether they are in Timbuktu, will come back home. And listen, when he said travel in search of, she did not leave the city to go to the village. Everybody went to the village. So it is another city meeting in the village, not that she traveled. But I don't really know of women that would travel basically to the village to pick someone who is resident there. I think
Ike has told us. Okay. When people come back, so not necessarily based there, so they're just coming back
for the holidays. Yes.
So she'll go and catch fish.
I think our Muslim cleric is available.
He's available.
Yeah,
now the line calls are coming in. It might be tough.
Let's
it might really be tough to put the calls through. But let's see. Good morning, Oye. This is Peter Ifeanyi from Iyanuru. People will always pretend to be who they're not when they find someone they want to marry. I really don't know what the key is because I know people that have been married for a shorter period than they dated and I know an arranged marriage that is blossoming. Interesting. 99.3, please turn down your radio for me. Good morning. Hello. Welcome, Obina. You have 1 minute. Go on, please.
I don't agree. The way I see marriage is just like part of life, the happenings of life. Marriage is not just like business, just like giving birth to a child. You don't know what he or she will become. So you have to train that child where you want that child to be. Marriage is just like normal life, just like love. You may be working today, when you become handicapped. So anything can happen. So there's no key, there's no any strong reason that can make marriage perfect marriage. It's just that you have to work towards it. Whether you are a Christian or a Muslim, you can work out for anybody. And
marriage is just like a child. You get it. You train the child. You train the child. I wish you all the best. Nobody's talking of perfect marriage, but I wish you all the best. Marriage is just a transaction. It's just like business. It's just like
99.3. Good morning. Who's on my line?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Joy.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Joy? Same to you.
Mama Joy. We are there. How are you, ma?
Thank you. Those who are here, let them hear. Those who don't want to hear, let them stay. See, 100% I agree with you. You know why some people still call it that this is that? It's because 2% is working, 8% is not working, and it's a result of what you are just saying now. We that want to listen and use this for our life will continue to listen to you, and God will continue to sustain you and your family and bless you more in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Joy, for calling. 99.3, good morning. Hello, good morning, 99.3. Good morning. Thank you for calling. Who am I speaking with, please?
Good morning.
Tayo, welcome. 1 minute, please. Okay.
I can say marriage is like a child. If marriage is like an egg, you have to protect it very well. You have to protect it to make sure that this thing, one egg just break like that. For you to gather it together, it is very difficult. So you have to protect it very well. It's not an easy thing. Somebody is in the UK, one person is there. I didn't say it doesn't really work, like that man said, but the percentage is very, very low.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call. Another one coming through on Skype. 99.3, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? Awesome. Jude, where are you calling from? Thank you for calling. From Rome, all right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome, Jude. Let's thank him in 1 minute. Please go ahead.
Speak what he says. So much on this topic and encouraging us with the diaspora here. So,
I was on my own, I think marriage doesn't need that longer period, depends on your imagination. So, I dated for 6 months and got married. Sometimes we saw my people outside my own power or my own knowledge. But I've never wanted this to happen in my life. Because of that time I was there. Sometimes we use our mind to complicate. And so, just that sort of time has become my school that no one can never
graduate from. Thank you very much, Jude. Great to hear from you. Thank you so much for calling. I'm going to head over to Twitter and read some of the tweets that are coming in. At Shin Walota says, Barrister, the man talking about distance relationships said they dated for 2 years. So what is he saying about exception? That someone was introduced is not an issue, but that they didn't get to know is the issue. That is Oye, who called from the UK. So what Oye was referring to, Sheon Olota on Twitter, is the long distance relationship that Olumide mentioned while speaking. Not necessarily marrying a stranger, which I mean falls under that bracket, long distance relationship. In the 2 years they dated, they saw only a few times. So that's why he's saying, his case is an exception. Actually underscore again, I don't even know if I should read this tweet. I don't want to start up something this morning. At Black is Good 1231. This man on your studio is correct. I have a brother who got married and divorced in just 2 years. Barrister Olumide, I feel very great to hear you. You are a great man indeed. This is WhatsApp now. You have spoken my conditions now. This is 29th year in marriage, and his wife has afflicted him with abuse. But to God's grace, he says he's never till today bit or hit her. His children are grown up now. That's also from Hashtag R360. It's the same story in the Muslim cycle. It's just that it's unreported as it's in the Christian cycle. I saw my wife myself dated and got married, even when my mother was trying to talk me to deeper life marriage counseling program. I kicked against it. You didn't tell us your name. My name is Stephen Lawson. Good morning. My first time to listen in. Oh, you're welcome. First time listener. My dear told me to listen. Now, Isaac married Rebecca without knowing her, but the God factor played a huge role, so we can't rule her out. However, I agree with you. What I do is I introduce myself to the woman who presents my lonely book and request she shares hers too. That one step helps. And then if stuff does not align, go our separate paths, maybe each other. Interesting. All right, an anonymous texter. Good morning, Willie and Barrister. My uncle's wife left him because all he told her before marriage were all lies. The marriage was arranged. He did not have a job and stayed in his elder brother's house in the village. My uncle is known to be a lazy man without an ambition. When the lady couldn't take the lies and hardship anymore, she left him. Another message. Good morning. Please.
Sorry. That gentleman that said Isaac did not know his wife. How many wives does he think Isaac had? Do you think Isaac married just one woman? He had more than one wife. So when you want to use that to compare in your own terms to say that, well, you don't really know, check it well. The man had more than one wife.
All right, good morning. Please, I want Barrister to suggest what to do if you're presently in a marriage with a stranger. For instance, this person says he's in a marriage with a woman that doesn't care about meeting your needs. Rather, it's ensuring you fulfill your responsibility as a man no matter what. You must do it. Do you want to speak to that? Okay.
It's just very important to me that I sleep, and I sleep well. If I'm somewhere that I can't sleep, there's conflict. It's not every time. There is no man, well, except there are some men who can meet your needs 100%. There are times it is on a high, there are times it's on a low. But when you are with someone who is not supportive, it's just, my brother, I have to sleep. If I have to just sleep at night. If I can't, I go to where I can sleep at night. It's your choice to stay. It is your choice to leave. It's your choice.
All right. Phone lines. Good morning. 99.3. Thank you for calling. Welcome, Femi. You have 1 minute. Please go.
Okay. I think nowadays that there are no true love in relationships or in marriages. People marry because of some certain benefits, forgetting compatibility, and sometimes those benefits change because they plan the future based on that. And when they can't get that anymore, the things get changed, and because they are not compatible, then it becomes a problem. I'm talking to the other caller that said that he married somebody and the person changed later. People change. That's one thing I want everyone to know. And also, people change for certain conditions. Maybe you were someone before you met her, and then you two change the way. But because they need to sit down and have discuss, then it's become an issue because she too, she's not seeing the person. So I think it's just the fact that true love is missing in marriage.
Okay. Carson. All right. Thank you for your contribution. Let's see who's next on the phone lines. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Are you there? Apologies. 99.3. Good morning. Who's on the line, please? Mr. Frank, you're welcome. How are you today?
Professor Frank.
Okay, we can hear you now. I'm good, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for
Frank,
calling.
how now? Thank God. Thank
You'll be
God.
small honorable.
Happy to hear your voice today. What's up? What do you think about our is it discussion?
Our discussion.
No.
Today's
discussion.
Now, that one no concern us.
Today's
Alright, in 1 minute,
discussion,
tell us
no,
your
yeah.
thoughts, your question, your contribution, what it is you called for. Go ahead, please.
Still on leave for all this topic now. So my own line is just to call now so that I can tell you speaking to my phone and barrister was speaking.
Okay, that's you just call to mark attendance, no wahala.
Because we've
Present.
been asking after.
We just go to my God without allowing me to go to 1 minute.
No. As you have given us your message, let's borrow somebody else your extra time now. Mr. Frank.
Leave it for me.
Mba.
Just to 10 seconds now.
Airtime, they are very, very expensive.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I will talk to you maybe tomorrow afternoon.
No problem.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
Yes, Mr. Frank.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, have a beautiful Saturday. Thank you so much for calling. 99.3, who's on the line? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who am I speaking with,
Good morning,
please?
Good morning, ma'am.
Pastor Ladipo.
Pastor
Good morning,
Ladipo.
sir.
You're welcome, Pastor Ladipo. 1 minute, please.
Barrister, in as much as we will not recommend that kind of marrying a stranger, but at least sometimes once in a while it works. So for me, as a pastor, I will not encourage anybody to marry a stranger because sometimes it's always dangerous. But one thing I have to say is this: even someone you know and someone that tells you everything about them, what about in the later time when circumstances changes? Such people also change. Are we going to call them?
Oh, wow.
Network
Let me
there.
give. I understand where he's going to serve. To risk everything in the hands of a total stranger, of someone you do not know, or to be with someone who you knew, you chose. You see, knowledge helps with choice. If I'm hot-tempered, you know I'm hot-tempered, or I fight a lot, and you know I fight a lot, but still you chose to. It was your own calculated decision, so it was your choice. But to take away a person's choice and impose on them someone who is the choice of another is a totally wrong concept. And for people to be thinking you want to gamble, listen, be careful of those that will give you what they cannot give their children. What they cannot give their own children to eat, they give others to eat. You need to be careful. What I cannot recommend for my own child, but I can recommend for other people's children, I will not. Don't be with a stranger. The risks are too high. Some people pay for it with their lives. Of what use? Because somebody recommended, whoever they are, clergy, elder, father, mother, auntie, whoever they are, it is in whose best interest? I always tell you to ask. This decision is in whose best interest? Any decision that is not in your own best interest should not be undertaken, because you are the one that will suffer the consequence. So it should be in your own best interest. Please let's speak other calls.
Good morning, Barrister. Now I understand better, because I never looked deeply, but was carried away with his appearance and because of the church that he goes to. Now he has given her a divorce paper. Interesting. Good morning. It is better to marry a witch and... Okay, let me start from the beginning. Good morning. It's better to go to the village and marry than a Lagos lady. I'm trying to understand his message. Good morning. It's better to go to village and marry than a Lagos lady. People in the village will take correction. Okay, than a Lagos lady. People in the village will take correction. Come on. Than a Lagos lady. Okay, there's another one. No, it's good that we read this message so that we.
No, I look at your face and I'm like, don't even bother. Don't even.
Joke. This same texter, you didn't tell me your name, says, good morning. It is better to marry a witch and deliver her than to marry a born-again Christian. I stopped going to church because a pastor deceived me into marrying a born-again Christian. want to ask, what makes it, why do people have this, okay, I know why, I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask, why do people have this mentality that women in the village are easier to control
you know what I don't
than women in the city? And I mean, it's because they feel, I guess education has a role to play. You feel like an educated woman is a problem.
You see, some people are
That's already a
afraid
terrible mindset,
of,
because why do you think your spouse is someone that you should control
that is the
in
point.
the first place?
You are afraid of someone who has a brain.
Yeah,
who can think.
speak for
So let
himself
us
or
go
himself.
to the village and bring
And you'll be
primitive.
surprised. They will not even be like that, number one. Number two, I mean, that should definitely, nobody's saying don't marry from the village. If you want to go back, I mean, just go back for the right reasons. Don't go back because you think you can get someone you can use remote control to control. You'll be shocked.
Some discussions reduce your IQ. So please.
Good morning, I'm God's Power from Aja. Why would you marry a stranger? To me, it's not proper. I was dating a lady from school. We graduated together, went for sex together, only to start planning. After building a trust together, her parents said they have to tell their pastor about them, only to hear from her that she said that their pastor said God did not approve it. After dating all throughout their union lives, God's Power said he felt depressed and he's asking what he should do. So I'm guessing you're still not over this relationship. Do you have any words for God's Power? After dating this lady through university, graduated together, went for youth service. Basically, they were planning, building a trust together, and her parents, said, they have to take it to the pastor, and the pastor said God did not approve. And basically, they felt depressed because basically he dated her for all day.
And the issue is the same thing. When the consent to marriage is taken away from the person who wants to marry, and another person will determine whether she can marry or not, leave them alone. It shows that this is not yours. Why? Because when you marry, your home will be controlled by the opinion of a man in a cloak. Those are the people that if you want to do something, you have to go to church. We want to have 2 children. Is God saying 2 or 3? God say it's 3 children. Okay, you come back home and say, just leave people who are blinded by prophecy. They are looking for the voice of one man to tell them.
I'm seeing that God's Power has sent this message a couple of times on previous Saturdays, but I guess we've never gotten to it. Apologies for that, God's Power. Definitely not intentional. I'm happy we're able to get to you today or address your issue, hopefully.
I got a message here.
Ooh, okay. Can we take that after this call?
Yes.
99.3. Good morning. Thank you for calling.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. All right, Jeremiah, go on.
Ask about the lady that was in studio last week. Hope she's better now. About the topic of today, the dating issue. Me, if I talk from my own point of view, just like some people have said, it happens differently. But I even said something. He said marriage is like a baby. You have to train it. And I know that it doesn't happen the way it happened to you. It doesn't happen to me, it will happen to you, not the other person. Me, I didn't date. I listened to people, I follow.
I'm sorry, there's some noise. You said you didn't date? Okay, go ahead, please.
My pastor, I'm the church where they train me both spiritually and physically.
And maritally.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
So, I asked God, who will I marry? God told me the person I should marry. And he now told me something later that there will be issue. We will have issue, but we will overcome it. When we marry, we're living like twins. I say we know before.
Okay. All right. I'm going to need you to round off now because of time. So would you conclude, please? So basically, it works for some, it doesn't work for some. Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Brother Jeremiah,
Thank you very much.
well,
let me
thank you
just
very
end it
much.
because of the time. Thank
Yes.
you for calling.
Thank you very much. Can you help me there? Can you help me out first of all?
I'm due for a break in
First of all,
a few seconds.
Brother Jeremiah, I never said that marriage is like a baby. Somebody said it and said it. I was repeating what he said. That marriage is like a baby. You train it to what you want. You know. I'm even
Basically, they disagree with that.
So,
but you know what? I will give you more time after this break.
It is totally false. What if you have sex with someone? It does not mean that your marriage will not last. It is sex. Simple. If you lie to somebody, it does not mean that you know there are graver things than in life than the way you want. Some people paint sex as if it is the act of absolute abomination and desolation. I think you should concentrate more on character. But when you start chipping in things like, you know, you must not listen, it doesn't. I will tell you it is not from a human point of view. Every animal on the planet has sexual relationship. To the earthworm, it does not mean that they will not live long. To the bacteria, I'm not encouraging you, but you need to get rid of people that place so much emphasis or, you know, I've been keeping quiet, and you know, the gentleman that called, I think it was Moses, that was saying once you have sex you cannot think again. Sex is just for probably 10 minutes. Then what happens? For the rest of your life you cannot think again? That's not it. It is what we believe in as religion, but it is not what is fact in science. So please, let's just put that one aside, and that is my own opinion. It's different from Onye's opinion.
Yes,
so we move.
Phone lines 99.3. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Quickly, please tell us your name and where you're calling from. Thank you for calling. Right. Go ahead, please. 1 minute.
Yeah. You did mention of sex. Whether we like it or not, sex is a critical factor in marriage. And from my own point of view, when you are courting, you need to know how that place is. Because after marriage, if it is not what you expect it to be, it is an instrument of divorce. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your
I wish you were in the studio to see how Onye almost blew up, like a fuse just came out.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know that sexual incompatibility is one of the major causes of breakups in marriages? Sex is actually a big problem, but here you are telling people don't talk about it, don't look at it. Meanwhile, in marriage, it is what may cause them to stay or to break. Let me keep
We have
quiet.
someone on the line waiting. Apologies. 99.3. Good morning. Thank you so much for calling. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. In 1 minute.
My name is Osita, calling from Oya.
All right, Osita. 1 minute, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to talk on this dating of a thing.
Okay.
So I think dating is not a problem. Whether you date for 13 years, or you date for 4 years, a bad person will always be a bad person. Some people have this character that even if when you are dating them, they will not show you their real self. They will hide it until everything is over. So I think people need to pray, always ask God that whenever they want to go into marriage, that God should give them person that fits them, not just dating. Dating, though I didn't say it's bad completely, there is comma in that area. So that is my own opinion. So they say, hello?
Thank you very much. Actually, I'm going to let you round off there. Thank you. You did your time. Let's take another call. 99.3. I'll give you a moment to speak.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much for calling. Who am I speaking with, please? And where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Prince Joe. I'm calling from K2.
All right, Prince Joe, please go ahead in 1 minute.
Now, there are some things I've learned myself in this relationship 360. But there are a whole lot of things that I think will not be said publicly. You may advise people privately. For instance, it was on this radio station I heard a voice note that said, if you are not happy in your marriage, then you quit. And 360 relationship 360 seems to throw the same route. They talk more of separate that marriage, get out of that marriage if you're not happy. They don't talk about tolerance. They don't talk about reuniting a separated home. It's more of separate that home, scatter that house. Now the barrister there, I'm sorry, seems to justify sex before marriage. He now play down on chastity and now try to talk it over. But it's not you will do more harm than good if you uphold this perspective.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution.
Let me now respond to that. First of all, I did not tell you to go and have sex before marriage. But what I'm telling you is that do not bastardize the topic of sex and make it in such a way that people cannot talk about it. Secondly, I tell you to separate from an abusive marriage absolutely, without question. Separate from an abusive marriage. And if you, sir, are the kind of have the kind of mentality that you will still tell someone who is being abused in a marriage to go back, and you are saying tolerance, I do not tell you to tolerate abuse. This year, do you know how many people that we have buried? We still talked about a burial that is going to happen in 2 days today. Burying someone lost to domestic violence, and what you are saying is that we don't talk about going back, separated people. If it is abuse, I tell you to separate. Only in abuse, violence, separate. That is what we talk about. So I wish you all the best, sir. If you reconcile with an abusive spouse, I wish you all the best. But here, we are against domestic violence and abuse. And then, secondly, I did not tell you to go and sleep around. I did not tell you to sleep around. Me, I have removed myself, but I will not stand when somebody is saying that your sexual chastity will determine whether your marriage will be happy. That is a fallacy. That is absolutely not true. It is just the belief of Christians upholding sexual chastity, and I think it is the same with the Muslims too. They don't really I think so. They don't really encourage, but what if they do? Does that mean that God will damn them? Let's get that right.
WhatsApp, Ola from Lekki says, good morning, Onini and the barrister. What the guy is trying to say is that the knowledge of the word of God will shape your character. And this is referring to a previous phone call. Hi, Onini and barrister Lumide. Iron Man is here. Or Iron Man here, I beg your pardon. I think the idea of marrying a stranger from your village originated from the Bible. Excuse me, where Abraham commanded his slaves to swear to get a wife for his son Isaac from Abraham's village. Ayo from Lagos, morning relationship 360 team. That man in the UK is not only lucky, but he said he dated for 2 years and travels down once in a while to relate with her. So his case is still online with my boss. First, I don't date version of dating well. Okay, someone else is still responding to that. Alright, let me see through as fast as possible. Good morning. The law and marriage is spiritual, emotional, societal. From the biblical perspective, marriage was the first institution Satan attacked. It remains so till date. That's why hell is so many marriages today. Dan, texting from Ambara. Good morning, I'm Oluwiwa. It's best statistics of broken marriages and broken down to how they met and how long they dated before marriage and a few others. Many met on social media and eventually got married and had much fun. Success. So it is a success because is it a success because the relationship was intense?
I met my wife on a Facebook group that someone put me in. It was about, it's called Let It Out. It was about some people just letting out their frustrations, or if just say what happened. If you had a bad day, just let it out. And we decided on the group that okay, let us have a hangout, all of us in this group. Let us come. You bring the drinks, you bring cake, you bring, and we all just came, and I saw her and I approached her. I just greeted her, but then from there we kept up. That was where I met her. So wherever you meet someone is not the problem. You can meet anybody anywhere. But before you marry, date them, know their character. It is that dating that will determine whether you should go ahead and marry or whether you should run. That is just all. Dating will inform whether you should go ahead or run. It's simple. You can meet online, offline, by line, through line. You can meet physically. You can meet anywhere. It does, you can be introduced by a prince or a pauper, but the issue is after that, after you have met, get to know each other. Simple.
All right, this person on WhatsApp really needs your advice. He says, "Good morning, Mr. Olu. He's a 43-year-old man. I've never been married before, but I have a lady that I want to get married to. Now. We started dating 2 months ago, and for the past 1 week, she has been keeping malice towards me, not talking to me. And I'm the one that's taking care of her. Please, is this not a red flag? Because I'm planning on quitting the relationship."
Okay, please. The lady is not talking to him.
For 1 week, malice.
Okay. What did he doesn't even know what he did.
Well, he didn't share that aspect. He just wants to marry her. They've been dating for 2 months.
Huh?
Yeah, he wants to marry her. They've been dating for 2 months.
2 months.
They started dating 2 months ago. He's typing. Good, great. Real-time response,
No,
amazing. He's him wondering if he says he's the one taking care of her. For 1 week, she hasn't spoken to him. Is it a red flag? Does he want to quit the relationship?
Please, Ghana. You just wanna Ghana quit the relationship. Just Ghana can't quit. I wanna Ghana quit. Let's just leave. Really, because I tell you something, malicious people are very difficult. How you can be with someone who is taking care of you and you don't talk to him, whatever he did, even let him know. But when you want to pass your point across by not talking to someone, it's a terrible, you're not even married, 2 months.
Yeah, he's 43,
God, don't be desperate, please. Get it right. I got married at 42. You're just 1 year ahead of me. Get it right. If you've waited this long, you can as well get it right.
Alright,
and please stop starting marriage or relationships by taking care of people's bills. That is what you will continue to do for the rest of your life. You cannot start by taking care of someone. Let the person be able to do something. You don't start a relationship is not how do you call it? It's not responsibility. It's not that you take somebody's and you start feeding they are taking care. No, that is not a relation. Then you start spending on what. Look at.
A time will come when
it's even good.
It's even good when you would do that, but not at the beginning.
Listen, it's even good. Now you have been spending on your own malice. Do you understand? You've been spending on malice. Thank God you have not gone fast. You can imagine. Anybody that you would have to start inheriting responsibility, taking care from the beginning, that is a problem. Let the person also have work. Never be with a jobless person. Wait till they get job. Make sure they are employable. They can do something. They have a skill. They have a talent. They can raise money. You come and 43, you started. Just come and take care of us. We have real-time issues. Take care of us here.
Phone lines. Good morning. Who's on the line?
Hello, morning.
Thank you. I thank you. Hope you're well too.
I'm an imam.
Taufik, you're welcome.
I just want to contribute to the program, if you don't mind.
Of course, please go ahead.
To the topic on the marriage restriction, I 100% agree with
Barrister on the issue of marrying a stranger, the danger it can present to marriage itself. But let me very quickly, because I have limited time, speak to the area of concern of some Muslim scholars who do not understand the nitty-gritty of Islam.
All right. In 1 minute.
For Muslims. But just like it is permissible under some moral guidelines, you must be guided by moral principles. So you can't date a conjugal affair. You must date, if you have to date, it mustn't be for a long period. It must be within a regulated period, and you mustn't have anything to do. You mustn't have carnal knowledge of yourself. The number 2 on prayer, because there was a caller that said that
Something like that. Yeah.
you can't remove the God factor in a relationship. Because no matter how much you might claim to have known your couple, there is a limit to the extent to which you might have known that person. The God who knows and sees all will guide you at the end of the day to the right decision. But dating is permissible in Islam. It is called khitbah for those who want to research into this. Good work the barrister is doing. Good.
Amen.
Thank you.